Merry Christmas, everyone. And this is actually going to be my video that's going to be going out on Christmas Day. So I figured, hey, why not actually go back, look at the previous year of games, and look at what the different gaming outlets have actually been giving Game of the Year to. Because most places, I guess, that you go to, like your IGNs, your GameSpots, they usually tend to do their own sort of like, Game of the Year awards at the end of the year as well. So I figured, let's actually do a bit of a roundup on those Game of the Year awards. But just wanted to say, hey, if you like my videos, please like the videos, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of next year. All of that would be appreciated, liking the video and also commenting below. Actually talk about your own personal Game of the Year, because while it might not necessarily be a game that's actually on anything that I'll be talking about at the moment, I will also be making a video of my own my favorite Game of the Year, as well as the worst Game of the Year that I've played, which most likely is just not going to even be a game that released this year, to be completely honest. But with all that being said, let's actually talk about it. So, the first one that I have is the Gamers Game of the Year, which was Astrobot. So already, I feel like Astrobot is going to win out quite a bit, because platformers don't get a lot of love. So I do hope that Astrobot does at least get a decent amount of love, but the problem is that unless Astrobot sells well, I don't think Sony is actually going to be making more 3D platformers, because they really do need to go back to what they used to do really, really well. They don't just need to have third-person gritty dramas, they can have cutesy, cuddly platformers in between as well, because that's kind of how their bread and butter initially started, and is something that they can do incredibly well. Astrobot is a very good example of that. Anyway, moving on from that, IGN gave it to Metaphor ReFantasio. Now, this one is actually an interesting one, because I did not ever believe that I would ever see an Atlas RPG, win Game of the Year awards from outlets, because Metaphor isn't exactly the most approachable game for the longest time, and Atlas has always been known as like the sort of cult RPG developer of the Persona series, of the Shin Megami Tensei franchise. So for Metaphor to come out and start winning these awards is just an interesting thing to see. But maybe it's because it might not have a number attached, as Persona did with Persona 5, Persona 4. In fact, the original Persona came out, back in 2001-ish, I want to say? Or maybe I'm thinking of the portable version, but regardless, it was a while ago. And so I feel like numbers can cause people to think, oh, if I'm going to play number 6 of something, I probably should play 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then at that point, it becomes too much effort to even try, even if those numbered games are completely independent of each other. But that perception can still exist. So, Metaphor ReFantasio, definitely a great game. I am getting the limited edition coming in the mail soon, so hopefully that'll arrive momentarily in the next few weeks. We'll see how long it takes. Probably a month or so. Polygon's Game of the Year went to... Oh, not Polygon's. This was actually the Game Awards. The Game Awards Game of the Year went to Astrobot as well. So, for those of you guys that watched the Game Awards, hosted by Jeff Keighley, I realized that Polygon doesn't actually do their own... Or at least I wasn't able to find their Game of the Year. So, for this particular site, I just went with the Game Awards Game of the Year winner, which again, Astrobot. So we have 2 for the Astrobot, we have 1 for Metaphor ReFantasio. Then for GameSpot, we have their 2024 Game of the Year, which is Metaphor ReFantasio. So 2 for Astro and 2 for Metaphor. Again, Metaphor just getting way more love than I feel like any of us could probably have anticipated, especially like myself, who is an Atlas fan. Though I suppose that being said, I did actually play Persona 3 Reload, which did in fact come out this year. But with that being said, Metaphor ended up passing me by, so I am definitely going to be getting it and playing it for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. Then, for Games Radar, we have the 2024 Game of the Year being Helldivers 2. Now, Helldivers is an interesting one. It's been through a lot this year. Helldivers launched to magnanimous applause across the board for the audience. However, one very massive thing happened in April, which is that Arrowhead tried to put back Sony's mandate of PlayStation Network login requirements for PC, which really burned the PC audience, because on PlayStation 5 that's not really a problem, because if you're playing on PS5 you already have a PlayStation account, and if you're playing online, you you pretty much already have everything you need. And what with this being an online only game, you've already logged in, right? And with PC players do not want to log into multiple different places, especially when people's security is more at risk than ever before. And people looked at Sony and thought, like Sony has a really bad track record with these things, and I personally do agree as someone who primarily plays on PlayStation. I do agree, Sony has an awful track record when it comes to keeping people's information safe. So no doubt this was actually going to be something of an issue. But as far as the game itself goes, Helldivers 2 is very good. It still captures a lot of what Helldivers 1 originally did. While I personally haven't played Helldivers 2, I've played Helldivers 1, and it is just a fun time with friends. That being said, it is Games Radar's Game of the Year. So very, very nice to see a lot of variety. And I was also going to put in PC Gamer's Game of the Year here, but unfortunately it's going to be revealed on the 30th of December. So I thought, crap, okay, this video is going to go up on the 25th, which would be the 24th for like most other parts of the world. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do whatever I can to make a video and then maybe talk about it later or something else like that. This could have been my final video of the year, but I chose to do it for Christmas because usually most places do have it, and I couldn't find one for Game Rant, so I'm gonna go with their Game Rant Community Game of the Year award instead, going to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which ultimately walked away with the honor during the race to be formally cemented as 2024's Game Rant Community Game of the Year. So again, all of these games that we're looking at right now, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Astro Bot, Metaphor ReFantazio, as much as I kind of wished I played these games because all three of these games are my type of game. I've had an incredibly depressing year, so I'm like, I'll leave these games that I know are exceptionally well done and very, very good, and I'm going to play them when, you know, things are a lot better. So, and it makes life a lot easier to just kind of stomach for a bit. But with all that being said though, let me know what you guys think about all of these Game of the Year awards, the games that have been coming out recently. Do you feel like you've been having a great time? Because as someone who plays a lot of Japanese developed games or JRPGs or platformers, and funnily enough, all of these games being on PlayStation, that's absolutely hilarious to see. I can't say anything but positive things about what's been kind of going on, and I can't wait to actually make my own Game of the Year and Worst Game of the Year video later on, because I am either going to be slagging something off real bad. I mean, I haven't actually looked at the games I have played, but I'm pretty sure I know what my worst Game of the Year is going to be. I just don't know what my best Game of the Year is going to be. But with all that being said though, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of next year. And with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.